Hey there, welcome to 4 Minute Friday with me, Brian Conway from achievesuccess.co.uk. And this week we're going to talk about when to walk away from a deal, when to actually qualify out of an opportunity. Now, those of you that stick around to the end of this video, I'm going to give you a free cheat sheet that will actually help you qualify your sales opportunities more effectively. 4 minutes, that's all I'm asking of your time. It could change your life. Ask Roger Bannister. I know you can't. Hey there, welcome. Now, as I said, this week I'm going to talk about when to walk away, when to qualify out of an opportunity. And I've chosen the subject this week because a good friend of mine, Robert Pate, shout out to you, Rob, asked me to cover this subject specifically. So Rob, I hope you're hitting that like button and sharing this video with your team and everybody else you know. In fact, all of you, why don't you start hitting that share button or like button, or leave me a comment or ask me a question. Let's get engaged here for a change. Right, when do you walk away? Now, it's an interesting subject, this, because it is quite subjective. There are lots of moving parts in any given sales opportunity, and therefore, we've got to make decisions on some of this criteria and the things that are happening in the deal. It can also be quite emotive. As salespeople, we don't want to lose an opportunity. Our job and our compensation is based on us winning that deal, not walking away from it. So it can be quite emotive in that sense, but also not just because we want to walk away or leave the deal on the table. More importantly, because sometimes we know, therefore, that means one of our competitors is going to get it, and we don't like that. We don't like our competitors getting our business. And then you'll have other people saying, well, you've got to be in it to win it, so you stick with it, and you stick with it, and you stick with it, and stick with it, and you don't win it anyway. So what do? Well, we've got to first of all recognize that time is our most precious asset. It is a finite resource, and we've got to use it effectively. So working on a deal that maybe you're going to lose or is going to take just too much time investment, even if you win it, it's going to take too much time and effort for the potential returns, could be the criteria used to walk away. I know some people do work on deals for way too long, and the value of that deal, the margins and everything that are in it, are just too small for the effort. And I did an exercise with somebody recently, one of my coaching clients, and when we actually looked at the amount of effort based on some of the deals they were working on, their kind of rough sort of per hour wage, so to speak, was almost there around minimum wage. And we as salespeople could be the sort of top earners in society. We want to be on minimum wage. So we've got to think about where and how we invest our time. So why do we work on opportunities for maybe longer than we should, not walk away or qualify out when is the most appropriate time? Well, as I said, sometimes it's that fear of loss I've just talked about, but sometimes it actually comes down to things like pipeline and the amount of opportunities and deals you've actually got in your pipeline, your coverage, as we call it. When people don't have enough going on, they focus on trying to close every little piece of business rather than saying, I've got a choice here. That piece of business, not so effective. This one, bigger, better, more profitable, whatever it might be. This is where I'm going to focus my efforts. All right, so it does depend on that. It does depend on where you are against target as well. Sometimes if you're pushing the end of a month or a quarter or even the year, again, you might work on opportunities way too long in the hope, and that's not a sales strategy, that you bring them in on time when really it's not the best use of that asset, as I said, your time, your precious time. So it is often better to walk away from an efficiency and a productivity point of view. Also, it can help with customer credibility. So when you can say to a customer, look, I'm afraid we can't match the price that you're looking for, or what we offer isn't quite right for the criteria that you're trying to address with the product or service that you're trying to buy, I think we are better walking away. And you place your business with somebody else. Now, I know we don't want to do that, but sometimes that's best for your customer as well as it is for you. And what happens there is your credibility will absolutely soar. Remember, successful salespeople are people that customers know, like, and trust. You build significant trust when you do that. And what happens then is a bit of karma. What goes around comes around, because then they either start telling other people that you really ought to do business with this guy. They feel a sense of guilt. Sometimes they couldn't give you their business and therefore try and give you something else. It gives you the opportunity to now even ask for some referrals. It's a great time to ask for referrals. But it also means that the door is typically left open for you to come back at another time. And quite often they will reach out to you when you do that in a professional way. So the last thing you want to do is actually put too much pressure on a customer, force them into closing. We call it buyer's remorse. It's an expression you've probably heard, where people regret actually making their purchasing decision. You never want to be there. An expression I learned very early on in my sales career was not now is always better than never. Always leave the door open so you can come back, and customers will typically come back to you when you do that. In fact, I've had deals as well where I've walked away and the customer has chased me. It's like anything. You take something away from your sweets away from a child, they want it more. You take something away, customers typically want to chase that down. They feel that sense of loss, or they want you in the game. So remember that you never want your customers to feel under pressure and that they would never want to deal with you again. Bad press always spreads faster than good press, and we see that all over social media and the news. I mean, the news is full of bad news because people like it, so you don't want bad news out there in the market. It's your personal brand, it's your personal integrity. You need to protect it as much as it is your business and the brand of the company you work for. So how do we take all these subjective considerations and turn them into an objective way of qualifying out of a deal? Well, this is where I said I've got a checklist and some training in an ebook that I've produced that you can have free of charge, which will explain 6 different criteria that you can use to qualify your opportunity. And the book has some checklist in there as well that you can take to meetings with you, some sample questions that you can ask of your customer that will help you qualify the opportunity. And 2 things will happen. 1, you'll qualify better. You'll find out maybe what you don't know and what you should know, and therefore you can get the information that will actually help you increase your chances of success and of winning the deal. Or you'll identify that the opportunity really isn't a strong or a very good deal, and therefore it's time to qualify out and walk away and work on deals that have a significantly greater win probability. That's it for this week. A little bit longer than 4 minutes. Thank you for sticking with me. I hope you've got some great value from that, and just think about why are you working on deals too long and what could you do to increase the win probability or walk away. And that cheat sheet, it's on my website, but I'll tell you where to get it. achievesuccess.co.uk. Just scroll all the way down to the bottom of the homepage, and I'll put a link below this video as well. Scroll to the bottom, there's a download button there where you can get this sort of white paper ebook that I've written that will show you exactly how to optimize your pipeline in 6 key different areas. So that's it. Please, again, hit that like button if you've enjoyed this video, hit share and share it with your peers. Leave me a comment, ask me a question, share with me something you'd like me to to cover in coming 4-Minute Fridays. Until then, my name's Brian Conway. This has been 4-Minute Friday. Have a lovely weekend, but more importantly, have a fantastic week next week in selling. See you then.